In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jar Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jar Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jar Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
We want to thank Jar Oil for sponsoring our presence on YouTube. My next guest is with me in the studio. He tells me peace is not only the absence of war or conflict. Let's meet him now. Good morning and welcome to the program. Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Uncle Peter. Good morning. My name is Alkali Dibba. I'm a Gambian, former University of the Gambia student president back in 2011, 2012. Before I left for my master's in the United States, I'm currently a U.S. permanent resident, doing my second master's in public peace and conflict studies and management. And currently a peace ambassador or U.S. representative for Peace Network, the Gambia. Yeah.
Why you're working, in the area of peace?
Peace has been my area of interest from very young age, because even though Gambia has never experienced peace, war, we all see the impact of peace. Going through school, I learn a lot. I have a lot of good teachers and interact with them. It's mainly from Sierra Leone, Liberia, and I see or I heard the impact of war and what it can cause to humanity. So it has ever been my concern, and since then I've been a peace advocate in my own small way I can. So it's one of those bad experience from people I interact, and also I follow global affairs a lot. So I learned a lot while in Gambia about global peace, especially the Palestine and Israel conflict, the Iraq war back then, other relative wars like in Rwanda genocide. I learned that, I understand that peace, people underestimate the impact of peace for humanity. So I definitely, partially want to volunteer my life for peace building and advocating for free war.
Do you see any danger of the Gambia erupting into, conflict, even warfare one day? And hence the need for organizations like your Peace Network?
I am not foreseeing it, but I may not dismiss it. As a human beings, we can think changes very rapidly or fast. And I would say I would not wish that for my country, and I am not foreseeing it, but I am someone who always wants proactiveness. I don't like to be part of people who wait until problem happen and wanted to address it. That's the major problem in this country, why we are where we are at the moment. People wait until things happen and wanted to address them or window address them. And as a result...
what have we waited until it happened before addressing it? What, for instance?
Well, an example could be when you come for our Gambia political dispensation.
Yes.
The first regime, I think it was far too long. the first regime has been in Gambia for 30 years, and that culminated to the military took over. And we all see how brutal military government happen to be, no matter what development they bring. Humanity is number one to me, in my perspective. And yeah, so that's one cited example. One can see why Gambians are not proactive. And I am foreseeing
a long stay in power.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm foreseeing that, like,
which then feeds into the current debate.
Exactly.
The current third-term debate.
I was nodding my head when you were discussing with my former lecturer and a friend, Dr. Ismail Asize.
He's your friend?
Yeah, we were one-time friend, but now we hardly see. But it's the distance,
you were only one-time friends.
I hope we still have that friendship, but I understand Gambian perspective.
So what about the third-term debate as far as you're concerned, Alkali Dibba?
Well, my own perspective, the latest that I had from doctor when you are asking him, I think it's always difficult to defend a defenseless person or defenseless case. And doctor whom I know, who taught me, at least he was a fresh person in the college, university by then. The perspective and mindset he has during those days, the critical analysis he does on things, is a completely different take he took. I know when you ask him, he would have answered you in a very opposite way, as opposed to how he answered the question about the Tatam. Well, it's up to the president. It is up to that is what led to problem in Africa. Sometimes we focus too much on legalities or what the law says, forgetting about the morality and the ethical views. And like I said, Gambia has changed governments during Jawara's time, who has done phenomenal well with his cohort of founding fathers. Give them credit for that, for establishing an independent state. But having like 10 years in power, hand over peacefully through transit or election, and then let another person come and start where you end. This is what progressive nations do. And that's what we see in the West. With all the complexity in the West, why they progress to where they are is because they don't even give a room to someone to believe that you are the only person who can do a job for a nation. I think it's unfair to the citizen, especially when you are in a country where majority of the people are illiterate. The few elite or the few educated manipulate them with the words that they themselves internal. I feel like guilty.
So you think Dr. Cisse is part of the elite that are manipulating the
I
majority?
believe Doctor has been disingenuous lately. Excuse my language, Honorable Minister, but you know what I'm talking about. I debate with Doctor in class, provoke him on some questions when you got the rise of nation building in Africa. He was the one who taught us that when I was a senior student, and he was just new as lecturer. And I can see his very great perspective. And everything changes.
That was then.
That was then.
But
now, the lack of him, not everybody, but the lack of him, that much is expected when they sit in public media and then give statement distorting the fact.
But all he said was that Barrow is allowed under the current constitution to run for office as long as he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, in other words, this constitution does not constrain him or anyone, from running for.
I totally agree.
And the highest office in the land.
Legally,
and this was why he preceded his argument by saying, from a legal point of view.
Yes, but even this legal point of view, I understand. As a minister, Barrow is his boss. Barrow is everyone's boss in the Gambia. As the president, he has the mandate to serve the country. But the difference in West or developed world is it's better to speak truth to the power. You don't only help tell the truth to the public, but you help the leadership also. But sometimes we manipulate truth. And when we manipulate truth, there is danger attached to it. And I believe that this is the current problem Gambia is facing, this draft constitution, whole hulabao and everything. I think Gambians should have a dialogue. Let's be real and sincere.
Barrow initiated national dialogues.
Yes, but those are not, they are counterproductive. The thing is, because Gambia, from my own observation, everything is partisan-based. We cannot have a developed country if everything is partisan-based. Come on, it's the same people that are in office, civil service, from different political parties. It is okay to differ in principles, but when you come for national interest, irrespective of who it affects, we should have a compromise.
So what's your problem with the national dialogues?
The national dialogue, in my view, was not is kind of counterproductive in the essence that what are the recommendations that came out of it? What step are taken? And that remind me also about the TRRC. A lot of things were revealed, a lot of forgiveness and reconciliation, but there are strong recommendations TRRC.
Yeah. If you can just avoid the arm of the
there are strong
please.
recommendations that were made, but at the end of the day, they are dead. We are, commissioning a lot of commission of inquiries over here and there. At the end, it's a waste of public fund, if you ask me, because out of 100%, maybe only 10% recommendations are adopted. Do you understand? So in my view, we are wasting a lot of public fund in many things, and I think that people need to change their mindset when it comes to politics in Gambia. They should see that politics is for a common good. It shouldn't be a political discord, social discord, and that's what it brought for Gambia.
And how much is the opposition responsible for this discord that you talk about?
That is
because
a very...
we tend to point the finger always at the
ruling government.
The party in government.
Yes.
Yeah? But what about the opposition? It takes two to tango.
That is correct. All these stakeholders, I always say that they all have a part to play, and most of them are part of the cholesterol problem we have right now. Peter, let me refresh your mind back in 2016 when most of us were online activists or social justice, just to make sure we have a new government in Gambia during the coalition. When the coalition was formed, in my view, it seems like it was formed without a prepared mind, because all this legal tussle that came after the coalition, some of the things...
Halifa Saleh would disagree with that.
Well,
they were prepared.
Yes, Honorable can disagree.
They were prepared. It was disrupted along the way.
Along the way,
It's what they say about power.
Yes.
Power corrupts.
And absolute power corrupts,
exactly.
Absolutely. But what I'm talking about, Peter, is when you are going into a coalition of parties, you don't just focus on changing the government, but what you do after changing government. So it looks like there is no prepared...
And again, I insist.
Yes.
Halifa Saleh will tell you that there was a blueprint.
Okay, but the blueprint, was it followed to the ladder?
No.
It was disrupted.
Yeah.
I agree. It was disrupted.
Yes.
Because fundamentally, I believe that at some point, our opposition parties, they don't seem to agree on some of the fundamental values that is meant for common good of this country. And most of these political leaders that I have communicated or have interaction with, I told them, sometimes in politics you have to compromise. It's not only about you. If it is about you, nobody will know you. People knows you because you are representing a party. Sometimes you have to compromise those egos and whatever sentiment you put aside and look at the interests of this country. Look at the future generation, your children, your granddaughters, not only today. So this has been my concern about Gambian politicians in general, both the ruling and the opposition party. There are a lot of issues that we have, and until those are resolved, we will continue to have this problem. Even there is a change of government, you once told me that Gambia will continue to be struggling in terms of good governance, accountability, transparency, in terms of leadership responsibility, as long as we don't change our attitude. So the opposition has a great role to play. And at some point, there are a lot of problems that has been caused by the opposition themselves, and of course the ruling party.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, time is fast deserting us. How does your organization, Peace Network, work with government?
Peace Network, like I say, is a non-political organization. It's apolitical, and we partner with all government and non-governmental organizations. And yeah, we heavily have a lot of collaboration with government institutions.
In what area? And how do you work together?
They facilitate training workshop for them, and mediation, a lot of mediations. Peace Network, in fact, one of the remarkable one I can recall, I cannot have the date in mind, but there was a serious kind of a threat of protest, nationwide protest, that even the government...
Is this the one by the coalition of...
it could be.
Yeah, CTWPG.
Something like that. This has been a threat to the government, and they were wondering how to solve it. Peace Network stepped in and mediate and resolve that. I think back in 2022, something like that. And the way they do it was so maturely and so professionally that at the end of the day, it was like a win-win. There was a compromise from both ends. That's why it's important to have an organization like this nature to come in, not to appease anybody, but to look at different perspectives and try to talk to both parties in an impartial way for the common good. And that is the goal of Peace Network that it has been doing in this country.
Very good. So, I mean, you're heading back to the States very soon.
Yes.
How will you continue your work with Peace Network in the U.S.?
Well, first and foremost, I have to start working on my connections. Every Gambian community has a diaspora representatives. So all the 52 states in the United States, if not all, we have Gambian communities. So my role as a Peace Network representative is to make sure to foster social cohesion and to help promote peace back in this country. Because we all know the social media is number one factor for both peace and instability.
And so how is that impacting us, the social media?
The social media.
It's bringing us closer together, or
yes, to bring us closer.
Or driving us further apart?
No. Generally, social media drive us more apart than bringing us together. So we must have a middle ground. And the way we can do is through advocacy, through talking to influential community leaders. And time to time, I don't mind flying to a particular community like in New York, Seattle, or Atlanta during the annual occasion and have a program slot there where I will talk to Gambian about the importance of advocacy for peace, especially on social media. When it comes to political time, the tensions are too high. And it's important that we play a key role. We can all belong to different political, but is fine. But we should never advocate for, problems like in personal fighting. Peter, it's saddening when you hear Gambian, especially women's folks, in audios, WhatsApp audios, insulting, castigating each other, even their family affairs to the forefront of the social media.
So what can you do about that?
Education.
Okay.
I believe education can empower people. People need to be focused on education. Yeah, that's.
But if these are people you do not know, you only hear an audio of Martin, going after
Peace Network have a network that we will facilitate to make sure we know the sources and we communicate to them behind the scene, or to bring a mediation wherever it happens, be in Gambia or abroad. But especially when you come for political pundits or surrogates, they are our target. We wanted to bring a level-headed politics in Gambia, where we can disagree to agree, but without going lockerhead or be at war all the time. Because this social media war can lead to something.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Alkali, just by way of conclusion, how do you feel, after doing all this work, all this effort for your country, to bring about, social cohesion and all of that you continue as a member of the Gambian diaspora to be denied, the right to participate in your native country's elections?
Definitely, that hurts my heart. And I think I will blame the leadership. One of the few first promise the new leadership did was to make sure that there is inclusion of diaspora in the dispensation of our country. And this cannot be done effectively without having their say or voice in the election. It has been dragging for far too long. The National Assembly, this executive branch of government, the judiciary, you don't know where. It looks like it's not a priority to them anymore. That's the problem in Africa. Before power, what we promise when we come to power is a whole different thing. I have a very serious problem about that. Diasporas contribute about 32% of the GDP, according to the internal report. That is 776 million US dollar. Equivalent to Gambia, that is the billions. They are not minor parties in the Gambia development. Gambia is run almost half by diaspora.
Economically.
Yes. If they are denied of their right to choose their leaders or participate in government, I think that is fundamental error. And I urge the government to revisit or review those policies. And this second day and whatever on social media between the ruling party and the opposition, let us stop it. It's not helping the development. We share this country. We don't have to, be a jewel to other people to appease them. But come on, we need to be leveled down. The way we are going, what generation are we taking to our young children? That you can only be violent, you can only be a bully to maintain a position? That's what I see in the Gambia. Or you can only be a hardline critic if you are not in position, irrespective of the good and the bad. Let's have a common ground, Peter. That is my point.
Absolutely. It's a good point to end on.
So
Alkali.
the Green Revolution, we don't mention.
Yes, well, take
okay,
2-3 minutes.
A few minutes and that, because that is my brainchild. So the Go Green generation, just to briefly I will just give a preamble that will take you 2 minutes probably. So we have a new organization called the Go Green generation, known as the GOGGEN. Here in referred to as the Green Generals. Notably, few of our main members are Vicente Gomez. You have Tuba Mare. You have one Kumba.
Ah, Tuba.
Yes, Tuba. You remember him.
He came up with some very interesting statistics.
I listened to it.
Data analyst.
He's such a smart young kid. And Gambians should try to tap into such talent, actually. Kumba Jamme, who is currently in Yale University, and one Prof. Famara Baji. So this peace generation, we are a coalition of...
I thought this is Go Green.
Yes, Go Green.
Oh,
we want to go. It's a coalition of Gambian environmental advocates, and united by a profound concern for the country diminishing natural resources in recent years. The Gambia has experienced alarming environmental challenges, which you can admit with me, including escalating soil erosion, declined rainfall, shrinking forest reserves, and the disappearance of our native fruits, especially the vegetation critical to the ecosystem. Recognizing the urgency of these issues, the Green Generals are committed to collaborate with like-minded green movements, like Climate Change Organization, to collaborate with like-minded, forming strategic partnership aimed at fostering a sustainable, greener future for the Gambia. We are not only concerned about today, we are talking about our children. So the selfishness needs to end. There are a lot of environmental issues in this country. The status quo...
Naturally caused or, induced by man? It's
human induced. Like, look at the reserve lands.
I should be saying human, not man.
No, it's human. So, definitely, that's the problem. The natural resource reserve land that are here. And even the allocation of these estates, companies, the way government allocate. In next 10 years, 20 years, Peter, I am wondering where we'll be.
Well, some are saying well before 10, 15 years.
Okay, so what will be the status quo in this country in terms of land and forest? So that's why our vision is an environmentally resilient Gambia, where landscapes are renewed with vibrant green covered and native vegetation thrive in harmony. Looking to the future, we will actively engage in widespread tree planting initiative, promote sustainable agriculture.
But why will you plant the trees if there's no land to plant any tree?
No, in the up country.
Oh, okay.
That's our focus, like in North Bank, in Central River.
Because the forests in the greater Banjul area
unfortunately are gone.
Are fast disappearing.
That is the saddest part about it.
Not gone completely
but
yet.
It's partially.
There's a bit of Salaji still remaining. There's a bit of Abuko Nature Reserve.
I hope in next 1 year when me and you sit here or somebody, we will still say that is there. Because the way the trend it is going is concerning. And I'm urging the land ministry to definitely do more with regards to land location, and environmental ministry to do more. Let us stop window dressing the situation. The impact we are causing for our future generation, in next 20 years, it will be catastrophic if nothing is done. And government in power has the authority to come up with the right policy and right...
well, there's a policy on land.
Yes.
About to be finalized, we are promised.
Okay, we are promised, but how long we've been waiting for promise that never realized? They are never. And after a while, another minister will say, oh, it was done in my predecessor's time, so I am just new. And execution is a continuity.
Okay.
You cannot blame your predecessor for something.
I'll give you one more minute, Alkali. We've got to go now.
All right. Thank you so much, Peter. With that regards, I will say the Go Green generation is also coming, and this organization, even though I am a co-founder, Vicente and others, this is here for sustainable greener Gambia. And our difference with others will be we want a real sustainable green environment. Starting next year, our goal is to have, for the first time, a national tree planting day in the Gambia from all stakeholders, having partnered with local government authority, the central government, the ministries that are aligned ministries, to make sure that this is a yearly thing. Okay. And not only that, but if you, Peter, is your birthday, we want you to plant a tree in your name.
Oh,
Those are our initiatives.
You just missed it.
Okay. So, but we can.
Sunday was my birthday.
Okay, it's not late. Next week we can.
It's gone.
I will make an arrangement with Prof. Famara Baji to bring a special tree for you. You plant where you want it.
Well, it has to be on a day not my birthday then.
Well,
because the next birthday is next year.
But it's within the same month. Birthday is.
Alkali, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Peter.
And good luck and safe flight back to the US tomorrow.
It's a pleasure to see you.
All right, and
thanks for the wonderful job you are doing for Gambia.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. And with Alkali Dibba, we end today's edition of Coffee Time, sponsored on YouTube by Ja Oil. We say thank you very much to Ja Oil. We say also thank you to you for watching.
In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Ja Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Ja Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Ja Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Ja Oil also target to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.